Bosh, welcome back to the channel, people. Welcome back to Barno. I hope you're doing really well. Ready to tune into this video. A bit of a walk and a talk on a Sunday morning, get some steps in, chat a bit of football, about the football club that I support, Liverpool, with the recent, let's just say, things that aren't really going very well at the minute. But I hope you're ready to tune in. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you're new around here. We are growing the channel really good now. 320 subs, loving life. Everyone's been really supportive recently, so hope you're ready to tune in. We're going to break down everything that's going wrong at the minute with Liverpool and how things can go very right soon, fingers crossed. Now, ironically, I made a video the other week saying Liverpool would bounce back after the international break that had been and gone with England, etc., etc. No, we have played 2 games since coming back from the international break and we have lost both of them and conceded 7 goals. Lost at home to Nottingham Forest 3-0, which were completely outplayed off the park. They weren't even lucky at all, so we got completely outdone that game. Then this Wednesday, we played PSV Eindhoven, a Dutch side, at home and got battered 4-1, which for Liverpool as a look, that is awful. You do not get beat 4-1 by a Dutch team at home, such as PSV Eindhoven. Correct, PSV Eindhoven, and they're not a bad team, but it's Liverpool, it's at home, it's a European night. That is one of the most embarrassing 90 minutes of football I've ever watched. So with another 2 losses coming back from the international break, this really now is putting Arne Slot under a lot of pressure. Now, the easy thing the fans are just saying is sack him, get rid of him. He doesn't need to be there anymore. Get rid. The problem is with that, if you sack Arne Slot, it's going to cost you 10 million euros to start with, or 10 million pounds. And then who else do you get as a manager to come into Liverpool and turn the situation around? Because there's not a lot of options out there at the minute. People have said, you know, Xabi Alonso, because he's lost the Real Madrid dressing room. I can't really see that. He's at Real Madrid. That's going to get fixed anyway. Secondly, there is the Bournemouth manager, Iriola, but with Iriola, Bournemouth having a very, very good season. They're almost overachieving, considering they lost most of their back line, because Nkakaz as well, who signed for us, they lost most of their defensive back line, replaced it, and they're having a really, really good season. So I don't know why you want to leave Bournemouth to then come to Liverpool, who are in a bit of a rut at the minute, and maybe mess up his chances in his managerial career. I think you have to understand with Liverpool as well, it's not the case of, let's just say, Arne Slot got sacked after the West Ham game for losing. Liverpool would not get in another manager, then they have another 10 games and it all goes wrong again, and then sack another manager on top of that. Liverpool's not that type of club where they have managers on short-term basis. It's always been a long-term effort, a long-term ordeal. Arne Slot probably will stay, but these next 3 games are basically do or die for a situation as the manager. West Ham away to start with today. We're going to play Sunderland at home on the Wednesday, and then we've got Leeds after that. 3 games I'm expecting a minimum of 7 points minimum, because realistically, if he drops anything less than 7 points, he really is in a lot of fucking trouble. Realistically, a lot of fans are just going sack Slot because the form of run is absolutely awful. 9 losses in 12, you know, the first time since 1953, which I understand is very frustrating. I didn't get the watch either, but people do tend to forget Slot did win us the Premier League last season. Now, people counter-argue that with, well, he just inherited Klopp's team anyway. Yes, he inherited Klopp's team, but at the end of the day, Slot's on that touchline, making the managerial tactics, getting the team through them games and winning all those games as well. So he has done a good job, you know, winning the league in his first season. Realistically, what I think is the season we're having now with a poor run of form, this should have happened last season, and then this season was where we should have won the league. But clearly it's just been a bit of a flip reverse. People tend to forget things very, very quickly of good things that have happened. It's always a bit focused on negative sometimes within football, because at the minute it is Slot out, it is trending. Now, Slot did have a meeting with Liverpool's hierarchy this week, discussing the current situation, current run of form, what his plans are, how he's going to change it, and he's probably got a timeline of how long he's actually got left to do it. Now, realistically, I'm backing Slot. I think the guy will do it for us. Storms don't last forever, you know, a bit of a life quote. Storms don't last forever. We do have to ride this one out, unfortunately. It just needs to change very, very soon, and we do need a little bit of light back in that football club. Now, it was kind of nice to see with the dressing room and the players, like Curtis Jones did call up the situation midweek, almost like with an Instagram post, but action's always going to speak louder than words. You know, they can say everything that you want on an Instagram story, on Twitter, or in a post-match interview, etc., but it's the action on the pitch at the end of the day, and that full-time result, what the scoreline is always going to matter most to the fans and the football club and the fan base. With the action today, it needs to be 3 points against West Ham. Even if it's a 1-0 win, a little scrappy goal, just a win, just to bring that momentum and a little bit of confidence back in that dressing room, because at the minute we look like a broken record. Defensively, we have been very, very poor. We've always been kind of getting away with the wins with the start of the season, with the late winners against Bournemouth, Atletico during the Champions League, Newcastle. That just kind of showed that we were very lucky at the start of the season. Then we were getting found out the last few games, and now we've had this horrid run. But today with West Ham away, just win, no matter what it takes. Even if it's a 1-0, as I said before, just get it done and get this momentum back and going up strong. Because realistically now, we're not in the title race anymore. I'm cancelling the title race. Look, Arsenal pretty much wrapped that one up. It looks like so far anyway. As long as we get top 4 and a good European run in the Champions League, because sometimes when we don't perform well in the Premier League, Champions League we seem to do okay, but at the minute we're in the playoff positions for that at the minute. Still playing Inter Milan away, Marseille away, and Qarabag at home. Basically, as long as we get top 4, retain the Champions League position for next season, because that is a minimum standard with Liverpool. It's always been Champions League football. That's where they've done best normally, 6 European titles. We need to keep that, because if we get a Europa League, or I say Conference League, imagine if we got Conference League. I hope not, but you never know. We've not won that one before, but no, that can't be happening. If we get any of that Europa League, Conference League, we are screwed, because Champions League, one, we love the Champions League for us. We always have a good run in it. Also, financially, it brings in a lot of money as well. 60 million quid Liverpool actually made in the Champions League last season, which kind of brings me on to the money aspect and the investment of the squad this year. 450 plus million pounds spent. We spent nearly £500 million, and the product on the pitch is doing that at the minute. Now, I know Wirtz has not been fantastic. He's had weird games, and that's £100 million. It's not looking great at the minute. Isak cost 100 million quid, and his match fitness wasn't even all there when he joined. Players like Frimpong, which we spent £30 million on. He's been injured twice since he's come into the club. Kirkes, we spent £45 million on. He's not performing at his best. Hopefully this does all sort of click eventually. The investment that Liverpool did make over the summer window, the squad we have now, this is a squad for the next 5 to 6 years, fingers crossed, will do well in England and Europe in every competition they ever compete in. So at this current minute, this is the second season with Slot, the first season with this crazy squad that we've built. And it's only been a handful of games where things aren't clicking just yet. But you give it a few months down the line, maybe next season, where things really are looking good, you kind of see how this investment does pay off eventually. Even though we've already spent a lot of money over the summer window, when we get to the January window, I think we're going to need to spend again. We need a centre-half. We need to have another solid centre-half come in. Now, I know Gehi's been the main talk everywhere on Twitter, Fabrizio, etc. Obviously, nearly signed for us in the summer window, last minute pulled out, all went wrong. We need to get Mark Gehi in, or just another centre-back, because we have Van Dijk, we have Konate. Van Dijk's not looking at his best at the minute. Konate, half his head is probably in Real Madrid now. I know the talks with Real Madrid have been, Real Madrid aren't interested anymore, but the same thing happened with Trent Alexander-Arnold. Real Madrid said he wasn't interested, then eventually they do regain interest and end up signing the player. Leone, unfortunately, as well, is out for most of the season with an ACL injury after a really good 60 minutes against Southampton. So we need a defensive reinforcement because we're conceding way too many goals. We just need someone to come in as soon as possible. Gehi would be the dream. I know there's been a lot of talk about Semenyo as a winger as well, because with Salah going to AFCON, Semenyo's going to cost 65 million euros as a release clause. Gehi obviously will be a free, but it then means Liverpool spend is even more once again, which when you're looking at a squad that's over £500 million spent in the last summer window, on top of all the other players, with that product on the pitch at the minute, you're kind of thinking, Jesus Christ, you can laugh at that and go, what are they doing at this current minute in time? Even I'm laughing at myself going, what is this club doing? We've spent all this money, nothing's working, but you've just got to give the club time. In a full summary, I think Slot will change this around very soon. I think he does turn the situation around at Liverpool. If he doesn't in these next 3 games, unfortunately, I do think his time at Liverpool will be up. I don't know who the next manager will be after that or going forward, what's going to happen with the club. But I've got faith. I'm trying to be positive. I'm trying to be optimistic as I can, because the situation is absolutely dire that we're in at the minute. But it's all going to start today. By the time this video does come out, it'll probably be just before about to kick off to West Ham, which I'll be watching. So fingers crossed we get the dub against West Ham, turn the situation around, get out the shit, and get back to where we need to be as Liverpool Football Club. That kind of brings me to the end of the video. So I hope you've enjoyed this little bit of a walk and a talk, a little bit of like a mini podcast sort of football chatting video. If you do like this sort of style of content, do let me know in the comment section below. As I always say, any likes, comments, engagement, subscribe does mean an awful lot. The little YouTube community of Barno is growing day by day, which I always love. So enjoy the last of your weekend, people, on this glorious Sunday morning. Have a good one. I'll see you on another video very, very soon. Go on. Get the fuck in! Lexi! Come on! Come on, McAllister! It's that corner flag. Get the fucking... Come on! Fucking get in, man! Wow! After all the shit we've had recently, that's a fucking win and a half, man.